Today I want to talk about automation in Linux. One of the biggest advantages of Linux is that you don't have to do the same thing over and over by hand. If you find yourself typing the same command every day, that's usually a sign that you should be using a script. A lot of times when people teach scripting, they start with something like hello world. That's fine to learn syntax, but it's not something you would ever actually use in a real system. So today, instead of doing that, we're going to build a real script step by step. By the end of this video, you will have something useful, and in an upcoming video, we will even make it run automatically. Let's start with a command. If I type date, Linux shows the current date and time. Date. This command is simple, but it's very useful in scripts because you can use it to timestamp output or even do date math. You can add dates, subtract days, things like that. I made a short video about date command earlier this week, so if you missed it, here it is. Did you know the Linux date command can tell you the past and the future dates without using a calendar? Normally, if someone needed to know a date 17 days in the future, they grab a calendar and start counting day by day. But in Linux, you can do it with one command. Date minus D, quote, plus 17 days, quote. Then you will get the date. Linux will calculate the date for you instantly. You can also go back to it. If you need to know the date 25 days ago, just type date minus D, quote, negative 25 days, quote. This makes the date command very useful in scripts, scheduling, and automation because you can calculate dates without doing that. Okay, now let's build a script. I'm going to create a file called dailycheck.sh. We're going to enter a command called vi daily underscore check.sh. Press the I key to go into insert mode. First line, we tell Linux what shell to use. # bang /bin/bash. The next line we add is echo space quote date :space quote date. Press escape. Type :WQ to save and quit. Now let's make the script executable. Change mod 744 daily underscore check.sh. If you haven't seen the video on change mod, here it is. Now you'll often see permissions written as numbers, like 755. That's just a shorthand way of writing the same thing. Each permission has a value. Read is 4, write is 2, execute is 1, and if you add each group together, that'll explain the 755. So 7 means 4 plus 2 plus 1. Read, write, and execute. 5 means 4 plus 1. Read and execute. So 755, the owner gets full access and able to execute. The groups is read and can execute. And the world can also read and execute. Let's run the command. It ran, but that's not what we wanted. It didn't show the actual date. It just printed the word date. And that makes sense because echo only prints text. It doesn't automatically run the command after it. So if you want the output of date command, we have to tell the shell to run the date first and then put the results in the line. One way to do this is backticks. Let's fix the script. Okay, let's add the backticks. vi daily underscore check.sh. Press I again. Change the line to echo quote date :space quote backtick. That is in the far left hand top of your keyboard, right under the tilde sign. Then type the word date, backtick. Then hit escape. And then you want to colon WQ to save it. And let's run it again. /daily_check.sh. There you go. It works. This time the shell runs the date command first and puts the results into the output. That's something you use all the time when you write scripts. Now this still doesn't save us any time. Typing date by itself would be much faster. So let's add something else. Another command I use all the time is uptime. Uptime shows how long the system has been running, and it also shows the system load. If the system feels slow, this is usually one of the first commands I run. If you missed the short on uptime, here it is. Did you know there's a simple Linux command that can give you a clue why your system is running slow? The command is uptime. Most people think uptime only shows how long the system has been running, but it also displays the average CPU load over the last 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 15 minutes. All you have to do is type uptime. At the end of the line, you'll see 3 numbers. Those 3 are the system load averages. If those values are high for your system, it usually means the CPU is busy, and that could explain why things feel slow. When a system feels slow, uptime is often the first command to check. Okay, let's add uptime to our script. Again, vi daily_check.sh. Press I. And then this time we're going to add new line. Echo, quote, uptime, colon, space, quote, uptime. Escape, colon, WQ to save the file. Now let's run it again. Now we're starting to get somewhere. One command, and we get more than one piece of information. Okay, let's add one more thing, memory usage. Another command I run all the time is free -m. That shows how much memory is used and how much is available. If you missed the short on free command, here it is. Did you know there's a command in Linux that will tell you how much free memory you have? The actual command is called free. We put an H there to make it human readable. If we actually take free and make HT, we get a total. Okay, here we are again. Let's add free to our file. vi daily_check.sh. Press I. Or if you know other VI commands, use them. Go down and add a new line. Type echo, quote, memory usage, quote, new line, free -m, escape, colon, WQ to save the file. Okay, let's run it again. Now this actually makes sense. With one command, we get the date, the uptime, and the memory usage. This is the kind of script that would really be used every day on a server. And this is how automation starts. You take commands you normally run one at a time, and you put them into a script so the system can do the work for you. Right now, we still have to run the scripts ourselves. In an upcoming video, we're going to take this one step further and make Linux run the script automatically using cron. Once we do that, the system can check itself every day without you typing anything. And later on, we can go even further. We can save the output, email the results, and even use Python to process the data. And if you don't have an email server, that's okay. Python can take care of that for us. We'll look at that in a later video. That's when automation really gets interesting. And as always, thank you for watching, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks.